If you see these creatures, run.
Hey everyone, welcome back to Titanic. I'm your host, Alexa. Some of the most dangerous creatures on the planet aren't always the ones you would expect.
Running may not be your thing, but you may want to rummage in your closet and dust off your old sneakers and get back into practice, because if you bump into any of these animals, it could spell trouble for you. Wild boars. How fast can a wild boar chase after you? Wild boars can reach speeds of up to 30 miles an hour, and humans, according to a new study, can reach speeds of 40 miles an hour. Although Usain Bolt has clocked 28 in the 100-meter sprint, so I doubt the average person could really beat that. There's 48.2 kilometers per hour for the pig and 64 kilometers per hour for the human, so you do stand a small chance of escaping. The thing with wild boars is that they've garnered a bit of a good reputation thanks to the film The Lion King, but don't let that fool you. Wild boars are aggressive and have a tendency to attack unprovoked. And remember, tusks. In 2013, there were more fatalities thanks to pigs as opposed to sharks. Cone snail. A saying that definitely sums up a cone snail: dynamite comes in small packages. This small, unassuming sea snail is found in warmer, tropical waters, and they're usually spotted in shallow waters close to the shore, near coral reefs or in rock formations.
As beautiful as they are, don't even consider touching one of them. They've got these hidden teeth that hold a venom called conotoxin. This makes the gastropod one of the most venomous snails in the world.
Around 30 people a year succumb to the venom released by the cone snail, and the news gets worse. To date, there is no antivenom. If you touch one, your cells stop communicating with each other, and paralysis occurs within minutes. It's earned the nickname cigarette snail because reports say it gives one chance to smoke one cigarette before the end. Tsetse flies. It's going to take more than running to try and get away from tsetse flies, but these little devils are responsible for 10,000 deaths a year. If you're wondering how that's even possible being so small, this fly packs a mighty punch and spreads a disease called sleeping sickness. Sleeping sickness, or human African trypanosomiasis, is a parasitic infection that causes headaches, itchiness, joint pain, and fever, and then moves on to neurological problems. Besides all these serious symptoms, you first have to get bitten by the bug, and that in itself is not a pleasant experience. It's nothing like being bitten by a mozzie. This beast's mouth has rows of tiny serrations that saw into your skin to slurp up your warm blood. It's usually the males that attack humans, while females prefer to feast on larger animals. The lifespan of an adult is between 1 and 3 months. During the 20th century, hundreds of thousands of people were infected every year, but that figure has reduced dramatically since then and continues to do so. Numbers continue to drop with each passing year. Indian cobra. For most people, you don't need to name an individual snake to consider whether you'll run or not. There's a word of advice that says if you want to figure out whether a snake is venomous, look at its eyes. If the snake is non-venomous, the pupil is usually round, and if it is venomous, then the eyes are usually like a cat's. Again, are you going to hang around long enough to peer into a snake's eyes? I didn't think so. Indian cobras come from, you guessed it, India. And the reason these guys are to be feared is that if you get bitten, within 15 minutes, you'll be crossing over the Rainbow Bridge. The snag with these guys, though, is that they love to hunt around houses and rural areas and are often in close contact with humans, so rice paddy fields and wheat crops are often where you'll find them. They like to hide in holes, termite mounds, hollows in trees, caves, and cracks, and people don't usually see them until it's too late. The venom of the Indian cobra is highly neurotoxic, and with the help of enzymes, the venom spreads quickly throughout the victim's body. Within a few minutes, your limbs become weak, your eyelids will droop, you'll start salivating, vomiting, and sweating. Muscles become paralyzed, and in extreme cases, respiratory failure or cardiac arrest. Scorpions.
Unlucky for you if you're living in the southern and southwestern parts of the US, because that is where you'll find something worth running away from: scorpions.
All scorpions are venomous and will inflict pain if needed, but the only one you really need to run from is the bark scorpion. If you couldn't run fast enough or trample fast enough and you do get stung, head for medical help right away. Symptoms include pain, swelling, tingling, difficulty breathing, muscle twitching, vomiting, nausea, and increased heart rate. To try and avoid being stuck by any scorpion, keep your grass mowed. Get rid of hiding places where they can crawl into, and ensure all holes are filled up and broken window screens are repaired. Saltwater crocodile. Reaching speeds of up to 29 kilometers per hour or 18 miles per hour, it's still looking promising for the human trying to escape the croc. But don't let that fool you into thinking you can just easily run away from them. They are short-tempered and aggressive and are relentless and unforgiving if anything crosses their path. They're found in the Indo-Pacific region of the world, so India, Vietnam, and Australia are where you'll need to don your workout gear. These bad boys can weigh up to a ton, and they are the cause of more human fatalities than sharks. Sharks do have a bad reputation when you consider how many people succumb to shark injuries each year, but I digress. Saltwater crocodiles are excellent swimmers, and they can bite you as hard as a T-Rex would have been able to bite you, so you better run. Run as fast as you can. Africanized honeybees. I'm not going to lie to you, I'm not sure running will actually help, but if you find yourself in the precarious position of being stung by Africanized honeybees, it's probably your only option. Regular honeybees are not usually something you need to worry about, unless you're really allergic. But then you're probably equipped with your EpiPen and know what to do in the unlikely event you're stung. Africanized honeybees are an entirely different genre of bee and are the result of a crossbreeding experiment that went wrong in 1957. Brazilian scientist Warwick Kerr brought in African honeybees to South America in the hope to create a more productive strain. Some escaped and bred with European honeybees, and this collaboration of bees spread quickly. When the invasion was fresh, the bees were dubbed killer bees because they're known to chase their poor victim for a quarter of a mile before administering their stings. The problem usually lies in the number of bees that attack at once, which can accumulate into the thousands. Black widow spiders.
At least with this 8-legged creature, you have a chance to outrun it. If it happens to be on your body, though, expect to do a wild dance before making your great escape. And expect to keep feeling it there, even though it's long gone.
Truth is, despite being extremely venomous, black widow spiders hardly attack humans. They're usually found in barns, sheds, garages, or outdoor structures, and some lucky individuals will hardly feel any symptoms while others can feel severe pain, swelling, burning, and redness. People don't generally die from being bitten, but do seek medical help right away. Cape buffalo. This might be a case of buffalo 1, human 0. Cape buffaloes are considered some of the most dangerous animals in the world, despite their placid looks and nature. Native to sub-Saharan Africa, they're generally okay when left alone, but the moment they feel threatened is when the problem arises. If they feel threatened by anything, they charge, and if you can imagine hundreds or thousands of these behemoths rushing together at once, you can understand why they have the nickname Black Death. They also use an attack is the best defense strategy, and they have taken out more game hunters than any other animal in the world. Raccoons. Also known as trash pandas, raccoons don't appear to be an animal that needs to be worried about, but if confronted, they'll have no problem biting and scratching, and sometimes the little critters carry rabies, which can be a huge issue if passed along. Around 2 people lose their lives to raccoon attacks every year. Remember, they have sharp teeth and claws, which can leave a person disfigured if attacked. Dogs and cats have also befallen the wrath of an angry raccoon. Added to that, raccoons invade our trash, which means they also carry harmful bacteria with them in their fur. Raccoons equals problems. Don't let them get comfortable in your yard and don't encourage them into your space. Rather, call professionals to get rid of them humanely. Kissing bugs. These small bugs don't look like you need to show concern. However, they're responsible for transmitting Chagas disease. They have earned the nickname assassin's bugs and are also called cononoses.
This blood-feasting insect is a nocturnal creature that has a mouth that resembles a beak and allows them to pierce the skin and the blood to flow directly in. And they're particularly fond of the human face.
They generally like to stay in abandoned rodent nests, or they'll make homes in chicken coops and stables. They come inside looking for warm-blooded animals to feast on, and humans will do just nicely, thanks. They relish homes with thatch roofs or palm trees, so heads up there. Chagas disease is a result of a parasite that the kissing bug carries, and initially the symptoms go unnoticed. The germs are spread through defecation of the bug when feeding, which then enters the host via the open wound. Swelling will occur around the area, accompanied by fever and swollen lymph nodes. The illness often leads to chronic health problems, which can hang around for 10 to 30 years. Mosquitoes. Mosquitoes. The incessant little nuisances that keep you up at night when you're desperate for sleep, or the ones that hang out outside when you're constantly slapping your arm or somebody else's. Also, nice excuse to just give a hard tap to someone, whether there's a mosquito there or not. Those things are responsible for infecting around 7 million people a year and for around 1 million deaths, according to the WHO. Fortunately, the numbers are dropping each year. Malaria is the main cause of the fatalities, but the incidence of death fell by 37% between 2000 and 2015 in sub-Saharan Africa. In Asian and Latin American countries, dengue fever is what causes most people to be hospitalized from mosquitoes. So, why are mosquitoes attracted to humans in the first place? Well, they're attracted to the odor of carbon dioxide, which we naturally exhale. They also sense thermal sensory information when humans are nearby, and of course, the obvious eyesight. It's also said that mosquitoes prefer type O blood over type A blood, which is why those with type O are bitten more frequently.
Where I live, I only have to worry about scorpions. Are you unlucky enough to have to worry about any of these creatures? Let me know in the comments below.
1. Puss caterpillar. Caterpillars can be so deceiving, and you think the fuzzy, furry exterior of the puss caterpillar would be soft to touch, but you'd be so wrong. This is one of the most venomous caterpillars in the USA, and you find them in Florida, Texas, and South Carolina. And one woman from Florida landed up in a hospital after being stung by one of them. The little hairs on the caterpillar are venomous, and they get embedded into a person's skin. This causes severe burning and a rash, which usually subsides in an hour, but sometimes, like the Florida victim, it can cause nausea and difficulty breathing. The pain can last for hours, so if you spot one, make a hasty retreat.